Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Soul Work. I'm your host, Jeni Cousins, and we're here at Shaw TV Live. So for those of you who've been watching the show, you know that I'm going to be opening up the phone lines after our commercial break. So get those pens ready, Calgary, and write this number down, which is 403-539-6710. So feel free to give myself and my guest a call right after our commercial break. And on tonight's show, I want to welcome my guest, Joy Brockhoff.
That's right.
Thanks for coming on, Joy.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. You had to come on the show and share with our viewers who you are and what you're doing and what you're about and such like that. So now, what is Kyros therapy?
Okay.
Yes.
Kyros is a body-centered energy therapy for emotional and physical healing. So the premise behind Kyros is that underlying all pain and is emotion that's trapped in the body. So from physical discomfort to deep pain to emotional trauma.
That's really interesting. So how does emotion become trapped in the body?
So it can happen in two main ways. The first would be instinctual. So if someone comes up behind you as an example and scares you, the normal reaction is to breathe in tightly and get very, very small. Will it be like an animal in nature that's prey? They want to become very quiet and very, very still. Another example of instinctual is, oh my God, if I feel that, my heart's going to break.
Okay.
Or if I let my anger out, I might hurt someone. The other way that it happens is we're socialized that way. So good examples of that are adults or older children getting after someone that's smaller and maybe even shaking the finger saying, "Stop that crying, you're just a baby."
Oh, okay.
Or women expressing anger could be considered aggressive, and men expressing emotion other than anger could be considered weak. Now these are generalizations, but you get the meaning.
Yeah, definitely, because I know if you hold a lot of different emotions in, it can create a lot of different blockages and such like that.
Yeah, dis-ease or disease, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely does. So now what does a session look like, for an example?
So first thing I'd like to say is that Kyros can be done anywhere. But in a session, in my session room, you're on a special bed that is a hammock-style bed. And I place my hands above and around your body, above, below, and around your body to run energy through the emotional centers that are related to a trauma you might have shared with me. Or I might work at a place in your body where you say you're having physical pain.
Oh.
If the client is fully clothed, and they can be covered in a blanket if they find that comforting. Yeah.
So what do you like? Is it like a real hammock you use?
I initially started out with a massage table and foam pads on the table, and then that allowed me to reach between the foams and under the body. And this particular table has a hammock. It's kind of like you're sort of suspended in air, but it's the same purpose, so that I can get under the body with comfort for the client and for me.
That's really unique, actually.
It is, yeah.
I wouldn't even think of that, because I thought hammock, that is different than the average table for sure. So what's the difference, though, really, between, let's say, Reiki compared to the Kyros treatment and therapy?
Well, it looks the same. We're using the natural energy flows in our arms and hands. So it looks like Reiki in that regard. We're using specific protocols to allow emotion to come to the surface. And what we do by using the flows in our arms and hands and working in specific centers, it allows the client's body to relax and soften, and then the emotion can come to the surface. So I guess how it differs from Reiki is probably perhaps the intent, but I think a lot of Reiki practitioners might work with emotion as well.
That's interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So what kinds of issues will Kyros therapy really, really help with?
People come for all sorts of reasons. Abuse of any kind, emotional, mental, physical, sexual, separation. People come if they're leaving a job or leaving a relationship. Physical pain of all kinds, migraines, backaches, joint aches, low self-esteem, anxiety, panic attacks. They can come for various reasons. Yeah.
How long does a session, so let's say if I wanted to book a session with you, what's the process to go through that? Do you have paperwork to fill out? Or?
Yes, yep. I have clients fill out a questionnaire, and for new clients we do a minimum of 3 sessions. Sometimes people get everything they need in 3 sessions. More often people will want to come back and do more sessions. Usually if they're dealing with a deep emotional trauma, it takes more sessions. Yeah. The client is in the driver's seat, it's up to them, and they'll base it on how they feel after the sessions.
They will, definitely.
Yeah.
So how long does it normally take to do a session? Is it an hour, or is it?
So the sessions are an hour and a half to an hour and 3/4. Sometimes they'll run longer. We run energy, there's a brief interview period before and after, and we run energy for an hour and 1/4 or longer. I usually start doing that during the interview session to begin with, so I get more flows in during the session.
So what outcomes do you think
the client will have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm sure everybody's different, of course.
Sure. So what I find is people feel more inside themselves. They feel more like themselves, more centered, more grounded. They feel more energetic and happier and lighter. You have a greater sense of self. It's like coming home to who you really are.
I just felt that energy actually, just when you said that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, like a white kind of being energy just around you.
That's great.
That's interesting.
That's good.
So for a client, let's say to fill out the paperwork, can they pick it up, the paperwork, and bring it back, or do you make them sit down and fill out the paperwork before the session starts?
Well, I usually connect with clients and we have a conversation before we decide if we want to work together. And I will email them the questionnaire. They can email it back. They can drop it off if they want to, find out where I live and do a dry run that way. But it's usually done by email. Okay. Yeah.
So what got you into Kyros? Like what decision did you think, you know what, that's the energy work that I want to get myself involved with?
Yes, I have trained in lots of therapies over the years. It was very life-changing for me, actually, and it helped me a lot. And I became more confident and more centered, and I found that it was just a very good therapy for myself, so much so I wanted to share that with others. So I like it. I resonate with this therapy. I'm good at this therapy. It's my favorite one to do. Yeah.
It just really clicked and resonate, and you thought, you know what, I just now want to really study with this energy and stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Do you do it on yourself? Like, can you do the therapy on yourself at all?
Yeah, you can do self flows, and I'll often teach clients that if they've come for sessions for a while, I'll show them how to do it for themselves. Actually, this reminds me. I want to remind, or I want to bring this up actually, and remind us all. The way that emotion completes is through breath, and so anytime anyone calls me, I just encourage them to breathe into all emotions and all feelings, and that allows it to complete.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so if they never came for a session, they have that tool.
Definitely. So if somebody wanted to get more information from you or to come see you or book an appointment, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, they can reach me through the kyrostherapy.com website, and I have brochures all around the city in different places. They can look me up in the phone book and phone me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know how I like to get a different amount of people and different energies going.
Yeah.
And we're just going to take a quick commercial break, Calgary, which means that our phone lines are officially opened right now. So if you have a question for myself and or Joy, give us a call. That number is 403-539-6710. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Mm-hmm.